Shit, guys, I shot this vlog earlier today and I was super, like, articulate and it was really good. And then I accidentally deleted it when I went to clear off my camera. So I'll do it again. First of all, I want to pick the quote-unquote winner of the top 5 favorite video games. I know I kind of dropped the ball on that, but I'll just tell you I liked all of your guys' lists and I really enjoyed commenting on that and reading what you guys like. But if I have to pick a winner, I'm going to pick one of my subscribers named Andrew Adams. I think Andrew's list was really intriguing to me. It was really different. Andrew, if you have some topic you'd like me to cover, I don't even have to express that it's a topic that you picked. I can just do it and not say anything about it. But just let me know. I'll send you a message and you can reply. If not, I'll pick somebody else and we can try to keep that going. But the vlog that I did earlier was some thoughts I had about rebellion and accepting authority in your life and consent, and how rebellious are we really? Or are we maybe just talking a big game and not really walking the walk? What made me think of this was I've been listening to my Pandora radio a lot at work, and I have a station that plays just basically 90s rock music type stuff that I listened to when I was a teenager. And it played this one song that I couldn't place it. I was like, where do I know that song from? Like, this is really familiar to me. It was a Marilyn Manson song called Crypt Orchid. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. But it's an awesome song, but I wasn't really sure where I knew it from. It was stuck in my brain, and then it dawned on me. When I was a teenager, this was in the mid to late 90s, everybody was, not everybody, but like people were dressing goth, and I dressed goth, and my friends dressed goth, and we listened to that kind of music. But I wasn't allowed to listen to like the more controversial bands, and I wasn't allowed to listen to Marilyn Manson. So I never had a Marilyn Manson album, and everybody was listening to this, and I really, really wanted to listen to it very badly. And but my parents forbid me to do it, and I had this friend named Marius, who actually now has his own kind of industrial band called Definitive Strike, if you guys are interested. And anyways, Marius made this, which at the time he went by Mario, but he made me a mixtape, and on this mixtape was a bunch of different bands, but well, primarily he had this Manson song on there, and I used to listen to the song over and over again, and it was like this forbidden fruit. Like, I wasn't supposed to be listening to it. My parents hated it. They were like really concerned about the way I was dressing. There was this whole satanic panic that was happening in the 90s where people were like, oh, if your kid dresses goth, they're gonna shoot up their school, and just all this crazy stuff that was happening. And so parents kind of, at least my parents anyway, really cracked down on what I was allowed to wear. They threw all my music away that I did have, and so this one song just represented to me like so much of just being able to do a little bit, just have that one little thing that I could do that was mine. And so I loved it. I went to the bookstore here to see if I could find a copy of the Satanic Bible. I decided I wanted to give it a closer look and actually read it. And in case you guys don't know what it's about, it's not about worshiping Satan. It's actually an atheist book. And yeah, I'm kind of interested in seeing what this book has to say, and a lot of the things that I read about it are sort of already in line with my worldview, so we'll see about it. So I went to have this guy help me find it, and he goes to find it, and he can't find it either. And then he goes, "This is one of the most stolen books that we carry." And I said, "Oh, really?" He goes, "Yeah." And I said, "Huh." And he goes, and I said, "Oh, I guess people just don't want to pay for it, or what?" And he said, "No, it's your right to know what's in that book." So I thought that was kind of cool, even though I left empty-handed. Like, got another truth seeker out here working at the bookstore, so it was kind of nice. But when you're a teenager and your parents are giving you a sort of arbitrary set of rules that they think are best for you, and denying your right to autonomy, and denying your right to sort of these libertarian type values, they're sort of denying you your right to be your own man, so to speak, or a woman. And so, like, it's really a microcosm for how the world ends up and how the government is, and these sort of illegitimate figures of quote-unquote authority that you'll find in your life. People that come in and say, "Oh, I'm an authority figure. You have to respect me. You have to do what I say or I'll hurt you." Like cops, for example. And it's like, well, if you don't consent to that authority, then you have, in my view, the obligation to rebel against it. You know? So I don't know if that's controversial or not, but I think that what Marilyn Manson was saying, and I was so upset that I didn't really get this message until this week. I mean, I've gotten it in other sources in my life from professors and things, but I think what he was really saying was question everything that you're told. Question authority. Be your own person. I mean, I guess what appeals to me about the Satanic Bible is that it encourages you to seek out lies and destroy them. And that is something that really speaks to the core of my being, because I've always had this sense that, like, you know, there's a sort of truth with a capital T, if you will, burning at the core of my being. And this is the road I need to go down. And so lies have always really bothered me, and being lied to by the government or your parents or whatever, and being manipulated and being fooled into a belief system and a system of authority and oppression that you never consented to, a system of abuse that you didn't consent to. You know, this is what Marilyn Manson was really challenging. And I mean, I think that there's just no better example of this. Is like rock and roll concepts distilled, you know what I mean? It's like a potent shot of what the spirit of everybody that came before him that did that art, you know, that medium, what they were really talking about. And it's really amazing. You know, lately I just haven't felt like I've had anything of relevance to say about stuff. Just kind of a weird mood I've been in, and I'm disappointed in myself, I think, sometimes, where I really do think, oh, I'm a free thinker and I'm rebellious and I question authority and I encourage other people to do it, but I just haven't been bold enough in my efforts to really stand by that when it's the most difficult. And that's why I admire people like Marilyn Manson, because I think, you know, he stood by what he was saying when so many people were demonizing him for it and were against it and threatening his physical being. And I think he's a brave person. And you know, maybe you guys have different opinions, but guess I'll just end this vlog by saying that I encourage you guys to question everything and don't have any remorse for being an asshole, because the world needs assholes. You know what I mean? It needs the people that stand up and question something even when it's really unpopular. It needs people who make waves. It needs people to shake things up and tear down these structures that have been built upon lies by people who aren't balanced and who don't understand themselves or their own motivations. Accept the good and the bad about yourself, embrace all of it, and control it, and be in control of yourself and be smart. And hopefully that's what I'm going to get out of this book. I've ordered it, so I'll be picking it up in a few days, and I'll let you know what I think about it after I've read it.